Good evening, everybody. I am so sorry that I had to end that live. I don't know if you guys heard, but my mom was calling me. She called me a couple of times in the background, so I kind of got distracted. So I just chose to go ahead and end the live and assist her with what she needed. And then instead of coming back live, I just decided to go ahead and do a pre-recorded video. So don't think for a second that I wasn't coming back, because I promise you that I will continue to be doing 30-minute Thursdays. So I made that goal for myself, and I will continue to do it until, I don't know, I get tired of doing it. I don't know. But I will say that it has been rewarding in so many ways. It has been uplifting me. And from my understanding, feedback that I've gotten, it's been uplifting others. So, again, I appreciate you guys for your comments, your likes, your shares, your views, whatever it is that you do to support SNS. Believe me, it is greatly appreciated. As usual, everything that we talk about here is based on my opinion. And because, I'm just here to encourage, to motivate, and to inspire, to give you a thought, to give you a word, whatever it is that these inspirational videos are doing to you. Let's see. So a couple of things, I like to show you guys products each week. So I think I know I already put the clock up on the site, but just to give you a closer look, the Diva clock. I really love this. I will be marketing it starting tonight. I was a little reluctant in the beginning because I could not figure out how to get that thing to hang up on the wall. So through trial and error, I figured it out. I put it up on my wall for all week. It stayed, didn't create any issue. It ticks and it talks. It's great. Keeps the time very well. Of course, it's battery operated, but just remember, you can get that in any color that you want to match your decor. I think it's gorgeous. So it will be up on the site tonight. Also, I have put a few items of the fall decor up on the site. I have a table full, a room full of items to post. I have about 6 fall craft shows, maybe 7, coming up starting next month. Oh, that's scary to think about. Starting next month. So I'm coming to you on a different side of the room tonight because it's a mess. So I have fall decor everywhere. So I was like, let's kind of change this up a little bit. So you got a little bit of a different scenery tonight. So yeah, so those items will be posted. I'm about 85% completed. So, in order to post stuff, you got to take pictures. I'm a perfectionist, so I have to make sure that I'm taking very great pictures. I would love to sell everything off of ssdesignbymelissa.com so that I do not have to go to the craft shows. However, I do love those craft shows. I love getting out. I love meeting people. And I love fall. Like, I just love that whole time and interaction with people. For the last couple of years, because of the pandemic, we were just not able to get out and have the craft shows and socialize. So I'm definitely looking forward to seeing my crew, my crowd, people I haven't seen in a couple of years. So I'm definitely excited to reconnect. If you are interested in centerpieces or door wreaths and things like that, please do not hesitate to let me know. I am available to start getting those done now. So if I were you, I would reach out now to have those items done. If you do not see anything that you like, or you see something that you like and you're like, I wish it had different pattern or different color or something like that, just let me know. And working together, we can kind of get that done for you. So this year I've limited myself to just a few items when it comes to just the centerpieces and door wreaths, because that's all I was willing to make. Sometimes I've gotten myself in the past like overly worked. So I said I'm just going to limit myself because right now I'm wearing so many different hats. I feel like I'm just in great demand everywhere that I go. I find myself tired, no energy, not motivated, having moments in my life. Like, no matter how much I come to you guys and try to inspire and motivate you guys on the inside of me, I'm also just like, I get to those points in life too that I get tired, I get drained. I'm a strong person, but even the strong gets weak. But even with that being said, I'm at a good place right now to do crafts because crafts brings me joy. So get those orders in. And also remember, I have more than just craft stuff. I have a lot of different items on the site. So take a look around, shop. I think the prices are very, very reasonable. So take some time and see what you like and let me know. So kind of go from there. So I'm going to go ahead and get started because like I said, I don't have a lot to do or to talk about tonight. This discussion tonight is really so much more about just, how good God is and, how I can't say it enough, just how good God is. And, when life brings us tests and trials and tribulations, how to just basically trust the process and trust Him as you're going through those trials. Because, we have to go through those trials in order to get through those trials, if that makes sense. So I'm just going to keep it short and I will get out of you guys' way and let you do whatever it is that you do. All right. So let's get started. So have you ever felt like, God is shifting things in your life? Yeah. Have you ever felt like, He's trying to move things or move situations or move people or send, just a whole shift, elevate your life, a whole change within you. Changing like things where things might no longer benefit you in life, or maybe, kind of guiding you to break certain habits, right? I think we've all been there. I think we've all had moments in our life where, God is trying to shift us to a higher level in life. He's trying to shift us or change things or remove things out of our lives. We've all been there, right? Sometimes depending on what it is that the change might be, sometimes it might lead to us questioning why God, why now? What do you want me to do? It could lead to like some self-doubt within yourself, like, I don't know, I doubt if I can do that, and sometimes just kind of loss of faith. This kind of depends on what it is. We've had these trying times in our lives from time to time throughout life. These trials, these tests, these tribulations, or whatever it is that you want to label them, they're going to come. Like, there's nothing we can do to prevent them from coming. But what it is how we're going to come out of them is what's really important, right? So when these trials, these tests, these tribulations come in our lives, they come in our lives to basically help us discover something, to help us evaluate something or examine something or explore something, basically for us to do something, right? When these times come. So, sometimes it's just coming to help us really, really see how strong our faith is, right? Sometimes when trials, tribulations, storms, things like that come into our lives, sometimes it truly feels like a tornado. It feels like it's just a never ending situation. We might end up feeling like we don't want to be bothered, unmotivated, no energy, hopeless, kind of burdened down. Now, I don't know about you, but I am here to tell you that this too shall pass. Your breakthrough is coming. Stay strong. You can pass this test because God is in control and He sees your tears. He sees your moans. He hears your worries. He is a God of God, and He is amazing, and He will do exactly what He said He will do. You just trust Him. That's all He's asking, is for you to trust Him, right? I can recall many times in my life where, I've gotten to a point in my life where I just wanted to give up or lost faith and question God and question the process and all of that, But I'm here to tell you that God wants you to see if your faith in Him is real when those trying times come. That's what He wants, just to see if it's real. So as you are trusting the process, in my opinion, it's important to think about just praying without ceasing. Stay prayed up. Have the right mindset. Be mindful of your thoughts, mindful of your behaviors, your attitude, your actions. Have patience, right? God does things in His own timing, not when you want them to, but when He wants them to. Sometimes we're waiting on God, and sometimes God's waiting on us. Just a thought. Study His Word. Get to know Him for yourself, not through somebody else. To know Him for yourself, because all the answers are there to all those trials and all those tribulations. They're there. Stop complaining. What good is that going to do? Have the courage. Have faith. Get out of your comfort zone. So as you're going through the motion of trust in the process, I'm going to back up just a little bit of the importance of, now I'm going to say importance. I'm going to back up and say, I guess I'll talk about me for a little bit. So there was a time in my life when many times in my life, I'm not going to say a time, when I felt like I was burdened down, didn't believe anything. I questioned everything. I lost faith in me. I lost faith in God. There was a time in my life where my world changed in one day, one night. A knock on my door in the middle of the night. Totally unexpected, not knowing what to expect. Open the door to chaos. Ooh, what is this? What is happening here? That one situation led to me losing a job, losing the place I was living in, financial situations, loss of a relationship. I almost lost my car. And I could tell you prior to that night, things were going wonderful in my life. I've always been faithful. I grew up, in the church and trusting God and being obedient and trying to live my life as the best that I can live my life. Of course, I'm not perfect. I'm human. I'm going to make mistakes. But I pride myself into my belief in God and how He had always been a blessing, even when things in my life were horrible, as a young child with, some of the trauma that I have. God still was blessing me. So I could tell you that moment, it had been years since I had to deal with any type of situation. So it definitely took a lot out of me. And it definitely led to me like questioning God and questioning my faith. And I got to a point where I stopped believing in me, stopped believing in him. I stopped going to church. You know, I stopped caring about anything. And I would go, around people and smile and put on the front like everything was great, everything was wonderful. And it's a true definition of, or true understanding of, we never know what is going on within a person. Sometimes we can just smile our way through all of our pain and all of our hurt. But in the middle of the night, we're torn up inside. Because I could tell you, for me, I would cry myself to sleep on many nights. I would, when I was able to find another job, I would go to that job, I would cry on my way to the job, go in, hi, do my job, come back home, cry my way back home, be up in the middle of the night, all hours of the night, get up and do the same thing again. And I found myself relying on other people, relying on different substances, to get me through. Wine was my friend. I relied on that to just cope. And I can honestly tell you, it doesn't help. All it does is just suppress every emotion, everything that you're going through. And I could tell you the truth, the honest truth, like what helped me come up out of that situation is, like I said, I just completely stopped going to church. I was just like, what's the point? Because I was angry. I was angry at God. I was angry at everything. I was just bitter, angry, mad, you name it. Every feeling, every emotion that you could possibly think of, that was me. Because why is this happening to me? I didn't ask for this. I didn't do this. Right? So, I had this friend, and she was trying to build up her ministry, and she didn't have a church or anything like that. She was doing roadside ministry. So I happened to run into her. I hadn't seen her in a while, and she was like, telling me all about the things that she was trying to do in her life, and she invited me. And I could tell you right now, I bucked and fought and did everything I could to just like, I don't want to do this. I'm not doing it. I don't want to deal with this. I don't want to hear anybody talking about how good God is and, all these different things. I just did not want to do it. So I decided to go. And I'll say, I'll go to one, right? So I went there. And I listened to many, many women tell their stories. Like they stood up, they talked about, all the trials and tribulations that they may have gone through. And I sat there and it teared me up. Like I cried. I cried. My heart hurt for some of these people, And so that led me to wanting to continue to go. So I kept going and I kept going. And I could tell you now, like months went by, maybe years or so went by. I didn't go to my church. I went there. I felt like I felt like it was just a calling for me to be there. So one night, they were doing like a walk around testimony type thing, and or circle, I don't even know what to call it. But so my friend comes up and she was like, Melissa, why don't you go? She just kind of put me on the spot. And I'm just like, I don't, if you guys heard from my very first video, like I'm not a speaker. Like I'm not going to get up here and talk about my problems. I mean, my problems look like nothing compared to some of these women. So I stood up there, and she actually wanted me to sing a song. So I went to singing, and throughout the song, I just went and started pleading out to God. God, Lord, have mercy, Jesus. I started pleading out to God, and it was the first time in my entire life at that moment that I felt the Holy Spirit come up over me. And I was lost into the presence. Like it's such a great overwhelming feeling that I knew at that moment that I wasn't alone. I knew at that moment that God had bigger things for me. I knew at that moment that all the things that I thought I needed, I didn't need them. I needed Him. But I was being so boastful. I don't know the word. I was being so blind to all of that. I thought I needed all those material things when all I needed was Him. So it was that moment, in my opinion, as I kind of reflect back, that I felt that this is where He was trying to get me to be. So I kept going. I've shared, back in the past, I've shared some of the things that I've done when I was volunteering. She ended up being my hairdresser. So I shared some of those things that I did with those women. And I could tell you, like, that was the most rewarding thing. That's where God wanted me to be. And I could tell you right now, it just led me to do so many different things within my life. It led to me shaving my hair off. It led to me, speaking up at different other type of engagements once I shaved my head. It led me to just go even stronger in my faith, like to fight. Like I've told you guys, like I just fought for me. And I'm sharing this to say that sometimes God removed things from us so that we can listen to Him. So we can see what He's trying to do or what He's trying to change in our lives. And we have to be open to what He's trying to do within us, because I'm here to tell you that I fought so hard. I was probably the worst person to be around because I was bitter, I was moody, I was all sorts of things. But it was that day and that moment that I sit before you tonight and present to you the person I am today. Because I know God is good. He's beyond good. He's amazing. And so when I find myself going through these trials and these tribulations, I welcome them into my life because I know I got to go through them. And as I'm going through them, I'm going to grow through them. And as I'm growing, I'm continuing to become a better me. And so that's what works for me. And that's why I'm telling you here today, trust the process. Trust that process. As God is moving these things out of your life, it's important to just be still so you can hear what He's trying to say. It's important to remove some of the distractions out of your life. I can honestly tell you, when I was going through those times in my life, one thing that I did that, I didn't realize I did it, but, going back now and kind of reflecting on it, I stopped socializing with some of the people I was socializing with. I closed my mind to a lot of different things. And sometimes that's what we have to do so that we can kind of stay focused. We have to let things go. I had to put that bottle of wine down and focus on what was needed to be focused on. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes too, just cry. Having a good cry, it's amazing. To cry, regroup, and get right back up. So I'm here to tell you right now, as I said, I was going to keep this short and simple. Keep praising God. Keep worshiping Him. Keep honoring Him. Trust the process. He's going to give you back everything that you thought you lost. And He's going to give it to you even more. Because He's just that good. So, as you go through, tell your testimony, share with other people, because you never know what you might say, what you have to say, or what you've gone through can do to somebody else. As I sat and listened to those women in those meetings that we had, I could tell you I've seen growth within those women, within themselves. I'm not going to say it was them that made the change, but it was definitely part of it. Like realizing that I'm not alone, like realizing that whatever I was having happening in my life was nothing. Those things were just things. Now I look at my life and I'm like, whoa, I'm in a better place than I've ever been. I didn't need any of those things that I thought I needed. So just remember, joy comes in the morning. But weeping may endure for the night. Joy comes in the morning. You know what I'm saying? Trouble don't last always. It doesn't. You can pass this test. It just depends on you and nobody else. Trust God in the process. Have courage. Have obedience. And never ever lose your faith. So I'm going to end on that note. I'm going to say good night. And as usual, be blessed, be kind, and love one another. I will see you again next week, 30 Minute Thursday, going live. All right, guys, have a wonderful night and a wonderful weekend. See you then. Be blessed.